All right, here's what we got to do. One, we have to stack a success for the day. This is really important. We need a success for the day because I haven't even talked about this year's contest. Now, one of the things going in the contest is Dozer. Dozer almost made it at the National, but I didn't do any paperwork on him, and they told me, do some paperwork. He's going to make it. And I wasn't thinking about doing anything else, but now I am. In order for me to do that, when I climbed the highest mountain, when I got to the top, there's just a higher mountain. So we need a success for the day, and the success we're going to get is these Atlas trucks. These are old Atlas trucks, and their gear arrangement is not obvious. It's a little complex. So using our normal method of picking teams, and then I kind of arranged them out the way they go. You take your two trucks and you pick teams. Take your parts, make sure each team's got the same number of parts, same kind of parts, and then away we go. All right, so we're going to assemble these guys. So we don't need these two guys, right? Yeah, we do. Okay, so we're going to take our Mag 1 grease. All right, we're going to get on a little screwdriver. And we're going to grease these holes, each one a little bit. Not that much, just a tiny little bit there, okay? On each one of these guys, you only need a little bit. And I just always do that out of habit. Whether you need it or not, it is a good habit to be in. And then we're going to take our gears, and we're going to grease them. Okay, there's number one. I know he goes there, because I took a picture of him when I was taking them apart. I got it up on the big screen over there so I can see it. And we take number two. We're going to give him just a little bit to put on his shaft, and in he goes. Number three. These guys don't have registrations, so in they go. Like I always say, put your registration marks so they all face the same direction. Sometimes that actually matters. Sometimes you put them in with registration marks the wrong way, and they're not exactly the right way. Why that is, I don't know exactly, but some of them need to have all registrations. Okay, so here we go. Just like that. Look at that. Did you see that? Now, I got this by picking teams. You know how we pick teams? We lay all parts, and we make sure got the same parts, and then we can start experimenting if we have to. But I took a picture, like I tell you guys to, of how they go. I'm going to wipe a little red lithium on them, and you don't need a lot, remember, just a little bit around here, around and around there, and then when we spin them, it'll get around. Just make it, and when you spin this, sometimes you can see the string form. We don't have that much on there, so let's put enough so you can see a string. Okay, now you can see a string. Watch carefully. See the string? It appears just once in a while. That means you did it right. There we go. That's one. Let's do the other one. Okay. A little bit. And a little bit. Yep. A little bit. Okay. And yep. I like having just a little tiny bit of this Mag 1 red lithium, which is basically it's a lithium soap suspension. That's why it's so good. That's why it doesn't spread, it doesn't wreck anything. And then we go again. We got them. And let's give them a little lube then. This stuff is going to stay in place, and it is never going to migrate up into places you don't want it to go. It stays right where you put it, right where you told it to be. It's going to stay. And as I spin it, I want to see at least a string. Once I see any string at all, I'm done. If there is a string of grease, that means it's over. There we go. We got a string. I don't know if you can see, it'll appear once in a while here. There. I don't know if I'm reflecting right. I see a string appearing. Done. Good to go. Okay, we've already done this. Now we're going to close them up. Oh, yeah. No, we are not going to close them up. We got to put the worm gear. Because these guys, you got to put the worm in first. All right, so they're good to go. Let's go ahead and take the worm gears. And I'm not even going to do the X-Acto knife trick on these because I've done this enough. I want the tiniest dot of grease right at the worm of marble air tool oil. Okay, I want the tiniest bit. Remember, the reason we use the air tool oil is because it does not degrade. That's very important. Unlike mineral oil like 3-in-1, 3-in-1 degrades. We don't want that. I can see tiny rust forming on the steel. This will protect it. We will not have to worry about little tiny bits of rust forming on our shaft anymore because this will take care of it. Okay, so then we're going to go like that, go like that, and our worms are ready. And we have to put the worm in before we can assemble it because the worm does not have its own separate cap or anything. It just goes right in there. These are getting silicone shafts, so we're not going to worry about couplings and stuff. We don't have to. We just got to get them in there. And if we can get them in there just right, which we're about to do, yeah, this is a tight fit on this one. And it may be because we were missing one nut. I bet it is. I bet it is because we were missing one. Let's flip them around, see if we can do it that way. So these worms had been taken out a long time ago. And I think the phosphor bronze... Oh, man, of course. Of course they're not the same size. Let's see if I can get one of them in here. If I can get one of them in by using the two remaining, I can probably... I'll figure out some way to find the other one, or I will figure out a way to machine it or something. Dang, this worm. Maybe we're in a position where this ain't the right worm for this. I'm going to have to say that we are. Okay, so we can't do that. We can't do those worms. Those aren't the right worms for this. But we got our gears in there. So now we got to figure out, I'm going to have to go through the box and find a worm that will fit in there. We're going to have to make a worm gear. We can do that. We have that technology. Anyways, we've got them assembled. There they are. They work just perfect. They're lubed properly. Good to go. We'll come back with the worm solution later.